On your somatic healing and nervous system regulation recovery journey, as you get better and improve these conditions that are just protection sensations from unconscious mind, like chronic pain, anxiety, panic, and you activate your vagus nerve and you regulate your nervous system and you embrace the sensations, you're probably going to want to read some books on the subject. As a professional neuroplastic pain, chronic pain, anxiety, panic, trauma recovery coach, it's my job to stay up, to stay current on all of the new books that are coming out in the field. When I was down in the bottom of my journey, bedbound, I read a bunch of books, listened to audiobooks like The Way Out by Alan Gordon, Back in Control by Dr. David Hanscom, and Unlearn Your Pain by Dr. Howard Schubiner. I love Dr. Schubiner's early book. And today, I'm going to be talking about his new book, which is called Unlearn Your Pain too. It's a bigger publisher. And I feel like because it's on a bigger publisher, Dr. Schubiner felt the need to go really in depth, really into deep scientific analysis. I'm also reading Good Energy, listening to audiobook actually, of Good Energy by Dr. Casey Means. And I'll talk about that in another video when I'm finished with it. But this is about Unlearn Your Pain by Dr. Howard Schubiner, an amazing mind-body physician who helped me recover from the depths of hell of chronic pain. I never met Dr. Schubiner. I plan to meet him in the future. But I watched his film. I watched him work in the film, and I read his book. I did his meditations. His book came with a link to his meditations on his website. So I experienced all of those meditations with his voice, with his energy. He has a very peaceful, very genuine, very authentic and loving energy, as every physician should. In fact, his voice is so soothing and encouraging that I would say buy the audiobook instead of the book, or buy both if you love to read books, because the audiobook, he reads it and his voice is just lovely. It's just it's confident and it's calm. And I think his patients who get to go and see him in person are miles ahead of others because they get his energy in person and that energy transfers. Or even if they work with him on Zoom, I imagine that happens. So I don't want to be critical of a book that is amazing and is so needed now to help revolutionize modern medicine, which is, in my view, just a greedy for-profit system which sucks money out of people and gives them very little value. In fact, Dr. Schubiner was fired from his position at a hospital in Detroit because he was not prescribing the drugs and the surgeries and the treatments which generated huge income for the hospital, but did not provide patients with the best outcomes. And Dr. Hanscom also quit being a complex spine surgeon for the same reason, because these guys actually love you. They want you to recover. They took the Hippocratic Oath, first do no harm. They don't want you to go and have a back surgery that's not going to help you. They want you to do things like expressive writing and learning how to feel your emotions and somatic tracking, embracing the sensations. So this new book, Unlearn Your Pain by Dr. Howard Schubiner, I highly recommend it. And I would have to say that I wish it had even more of Dr. Schubiner in it. You get some of his story, and he does tell you about a good number of his patients, which I think is wonderful and amazing, because these patients recover in spite of having severe neuroplastic sensations. But at the same time, it was a little too scientific for me. I already have a lot of the science background. I have a degree in natural science from New College. So When it comes to scientific studies, I feel that they're a little bit too analytical, a little bit too, there's an energy of trying to prove and trying to measure, and I'm just not as interested in that, which is probably why I use rapid resolution therapy, because the results are dramatic and beneficial versus being very analytical and scientific and academic. I really don't like the academic approach that much. But Dr. Schubiner in this book goes deep into the studies, deep into the research. And so if you have any doubts on an intellectual level that this is real science and it really works, and he's published like 100 papers, I think around 100 papers, maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. But pretty amazing, right? So read the book, enjoy the book. My only wish is that the book was even more instructive in terms of the type of techniques that are most useful for recovery. But at the same time, he does go into it pretty deep, and that's what channels like this are for. So please subscribe and give me a thumbs up and ring the bell to help me on my mission to get as many people as possible out of hell and back to a full and vibrant life. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, head to healingwolfcoaching.com, book a free consult call. You're going to tell me what's going on with you, and we're going to strategize your recovery to accelerate it and make sure it's as deep and lasting and beneficial as possible. So you can also sign up for my newsletter at healingwolfcoaching.com. And along with that, signing up for the newsletter, you also get my most powerful somatic meditation, professionally recorded, that you can get a free download of and use as much as you want. It really helped me a lot. That's why I created it. I'm a very creative coach, and all my clients will tell you this. I'm not using scripts. I'm not using a methodology of A, B, C, D. I'm taking you on a journey, and we're letting your unconscious mind tell us how to communicate in a way that gets the message, the good news of safety deep within it, so that these sensations of chronic pain and anxiety and panic can just fade away naturally. So I got more videos, got a subscribe link. Thanks for watching. I love you. I know you can do this. I'll see you in the next one.